Hello, hello, everybody. This is Isabelle Tierney. I am the founder of the methodology. For those of us who are consumers, we call it the Feel Good Life methodology. And for those of us in the business world, we call it the Stress Reset methodology. And the methodology is designed to help you stress less so that you can thrive more. Right? We can say stress less and thrive more, or we can actually put a linear equation that when we stress less, we thrive more because the stress response literally prevents us from feeling good, from thriving, from feeling connection and inspiration and creativity and calm, like all the things we want. When we live in the stress response, especially chronically, we are unable to access these delightful states of being. And Joanne and Esmeralda are in the house, and Susan. Good morning, lovely people. I'm so excited for this morning. I just have been practicing I'm fixing my hair. I've been practicing really the discipline, because it's a discipline of manifestation on and off through years, right? I mean, years. I've been reading Joe Dispenza. I've been reading all the manifestation books for many years, but it feels like this is a period in my life in which I am most skilled at really using the power of manifestation to create change in my life, and thus most skilled to actually teach it to you. And so let's do a check-in as we wait for people to come into the space. You know, it's so funny because I was thinking as I was coming into the space, like, I really suck at small talk. I like to go deep. I like to go fast in conversations. But when we enter a party, when we enter a room, we don't necessarily go deep. And so it's like, okay, when people come into this space, as we wait for more people to come in, we don't have to go deep really right away. But I'm still going to ask a question that's pretty deep, which is, where are you at on the feel good scale? For many of you who know the feel good scale, 1 is I feel stressed out, red zone. I feel constricted, maybe irritated, numb, all the way to 10, which is the green zone, which is I feel open and spacious and joyful and connected. Please let me know where you are at on the feel good scale this morning. I'd love to hear it. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I am at, sometimes we joke, we can get to a 10.5, which makes absolutely no sense, because if a scale is 1 to 10, but that's when we feel really, 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 really good. And even being at a 10 cannot seem to contain that. And I'm just excited to be here. My life has become really exciting lately and really rich. But as always, what we teach with this work is like the world doesn't have to change for us to experience it differently. So yes, external things are changing in my life, but that's not why I feel so good. It's literally exactly what we're going to be talking about today, manifestations. It's the thoughts and the emotions that I'm constantly, skillfully cultivating that make me first feel good inside and then manifest feel good experiences on the outside. Oh, what a perfect lead-in. Good morning, Joanne, Susan. I am open and feeling clear at a 9. Oh, I'm sorry. You are at a 2, sad and depressed. Well, let me hope that this live will inspire you and shift you. You know, in this work, you know this well, Joanne. We see every frequency as being perfectly okay, right? There is no good or bad feel-good level. It's just each feel-good level has different emotions, different thoughts, different consequences, different ways we relate to ourselves and others. But when we find ourselves at a 2, when we find ourselves at an 8, even though we might have preferences for being in the green zone, we don't ever judge where we are. And instead, we bring the green zone lens of curiosity and compassion and patience. And the moment we can bring the green zone lens of curiosity, compassion, patience, love, kindness, then we can be at that 2, but in a different way that's already probably shifted that 2. It's when we are in a low frequency, when we are in the red zone and we judge ourselves for being in the red zone and we hate the red zone and we want to reject the red zone and the red zone is bad and I wish I wasn't in the red zone, that we actually maintain ourselves in the red zone. Does that make sense? Does that land with you guys? Ezzy, I'm so happy to be feeling your 10 all the way today. I imagine that you already did scripting, which we're going to talk about as one of our tools later today. So let's keep going about manifestation, because I already started it inadvertently by talking about the world doesn't have to change for us to feel differently. Actually, the whole world becomes different when we feel differently. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what I realized, and that's why I love the title of this live, is how to use the power of conscious manifestation for good, is that we're actually, of manifestation for good, is we're actually always manifesting. So let yourself sit with that. Manifestation isn't a thing that, oh, if you do spiritual work or self-development work or whatever it is, like I am now going to learn to manifest. You are actually manifesting 24/7. The question is, are you manifesting consciously, and are you manifesting for your highest good? All right. So answer the question, like how does that land? You are manifesting all the time. And so let's talk about manifestation. First of all, it was really interesting. Right before the call, I decided to look up manifest and what the root of manifest means. And guess what it means? It means to make public. And so when we think about our inner world, right, the thoughts and emotions, which we're going to talk about, are the root of manifestation, which are internal. When we make them public, manifesting is taking those thoughts and emotions and they become public, meaning they become our life. They become our actions. They become our habits. They become our daily patterns and eventually become our lives. So to make public, I thought was such an interesting description. And so the question again is that I'm going to keep posing and posing and posing to you today is, what do you want to make public? If you are manifesting 24/7, you are manifesting 24/7, then do you want to become more precise about what thoughts and emotions cultivate? So let's first talk about just simple, like cognitive behavioral therapy science, which says our thoughts create our emotions, which create our impulses, which create our actions, right? So if I think I'm no good, I don't know, I can't do a live, right? I can't do a live. Then I'm going to feel a little bit despondent, like, no, I can't do a live. And then my impulse is going to be, I'm going to hide. I'm going to want to hide. And then I'm not going to do the live. And we do this all the time. We have a thought about something, which creates an emotion, which creates an impulse, which creates an action. So this is the science of our psychology, of how our actions arise from our thoughts. Got it? Now, in the more spiritual world, and if we use Joe Dispenza, and you know Joe Dispenza is now seen and he teaches millions of people. Joe Dispenza says we develop an electromagnetic signature. If we use our methodology's language, we are talking about we develop a feel-good level through the thoughts we think and the emotions we feel. All right, so what he says, and I always love bringing other teachers in to and bring them into our work. He says that our thoughts are an electric signature that sends information out into the universe, right? It broadcasts information. So I'm no good, or I'm amazing, or this is never going to succeed. I know this is going to succeed in the most beautiful way. You're sending out a signature, a feel-good signature. Got it? A vibrational signature. It's another way we could do it. Now, what he says then is our emotions call that signature, that frequency back to us. back to us. So that's why when people practice manifestation and they only think, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich, or whatever it is that they want, but they don't put it together with their emotions. Like, I am so excited to have so much abundant love or money or thriving health. You are bringing emotions to it, and those two together, the thoughts and the emotions, he calls them, create a specific frequency, a specific vibe. And if you think of the scale, it matches a number on that feel-good scale. So if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, which leads you automatically to feel negative, low-frequency emotions, you are then going to create and then attract, if you believe in attraction, a low-frequency life, a red zone or yellow zone life. And the thing is, as I said, and I'd love to hear your comments, because again, it's so much more fun for me when I get to interact with you. So please make sure to let me know, how does this land? Does this resonate? Sometimes I see comments, sometimes I don't. So just make sure, I'd love to hear how this lands. And so the thing is, we are constantly manifesting. We think a thought. So the other morning, it was such a silly little thing, but I was brushing my teeth and I was thinking about my son that's coming in next week. Now, you have to understand, I've had a tendency to be a very early bird. Like, I don't like to go out late at night. And his plane is arriving very late. And I was brushing my teeth and I noticed the thought, oh gosh, Gaby's coming in so late on Tuesday. I'm going to be so tired. It's going to be hard to get out of the house and just watch the way I am. Yeah. And then, am I looking forward to Gabe, my son, coming? No. And then I had the whole thing written out. And so had I continued to support that manifestation, I would have shown up on Tuesday, exhausted by 6 o'clock at night, and kind of dreading and droopy about going to get him and anticipating that I was going to be tired. And I caught it. Because these days, right, with this work, it's always awareness plus action equals transformation. All of you know the formula of this work and of any transformational work. So I caught, like, wow, I noticed myself drooping and I caught the sentence, I'm going to be so tired. And then I was like, wait, how do you know that? Questioning my thoughts. How do I know that? Actually, in the last few weeks, since I had my food poisoning and I changed the way I eat, I stopped drinking, I feel energy from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. I am never tired anymore. And so it was just a habitual thought. I'm going to be tired. I don't want to go to the airport late. That was just playing in my mind. And this is the thing. This is the thing, guys. This is what Joe Dispenza talks about. His book is titled Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And at first I didn't understand what that meant. And the habit of being ourselves that he's talking about is having the same thoughts and the same emotions. And you wake up in the morning and you dread your day and you don't look forward to your day and your day's going to be busy and your day's going to be full and blah, blah, blah. Like, what are your thoughts? What feel-good level are your thoughts at that you run throughout your day that you might not even catch, because that's the thing. They're so habitual. They run underground that you don't even notice. And sometimes the only way to notice what you're manifesting, what your thoughts and emotions are that are manifesting your life, is by looking at your life. How's your life going? Where is it at on the feel-good scale? From a 1 to a 10. Yeah, I'd love to hear. What are you thinking as you listen to me? And again, sometimes I don't get I just want to make sure that I'm on track and I'm clear. So if you wake up every day and think the same thoughts every day and feel the same emotions every day, which leads you to have the same impulses and the same actions every day, even just if we look at it on a human level and not an energetic quantum level, right, which Joe Dispenza talks about, you can only create that frequency life. You can't wake up in the morning and think you're dreading your day and your day's going to suck and work is going to suck and the kids are going to be too much and your husband's going to be a pain and he's not going to help out and you're going to be all alone. You can't be thinking that and have an astounding day. You can't. And then if you talk about it in terms of frequencies, right, that we attract matching frequencies, if you're thinking lower feel-good level thoughts, you can only find matching lower level frequencies. And so my question to you is, what do you want? What do you see when you look at your life? Are you creating the highest green zone life that you can? And the thing about it, like I said, these thoughts are sneaky. These thoughts are subtle. Like, I really thought that I was primarily cultivating feel-good thoughts, higher frequency thoughts. And then I was like, well, but my life isn't matching that everywhere. So what's going on? And I started really, really tracking. And many of you know that I've been talking about scripting. Scripting is one of the most powerful manifestation exercises, where in the morning, first thing when you wake up, if you can, you write, "Dear Universe," or whatever you're comfortable with, and you write, "Thank you for this day," as though the day had already occurred and you had had the highest green zone day. So, dear universe, I had the best Facebook Live in my community this morning. People were deeply impacted, and it was just incredibly rich and powerful. Thank you so much for my 10 o'clock meeting, because it was the most incredible ideas came through that we'll be able to implement in the methodology. So you write, like, "Thank you for an amazing day with my family. We laughed so much and we played." So you script like that. And as you start using the power of scripting and you start writing newer sentences, newer thoughts, feel newer emotions, there are two things that happen. One is you start noticing the ones that you usually run through, because they start being in contrast. They reveal themselves to be in starker contrast than what you knew. And second of all, you start filling your subconscious, right? I said these thoughts and emotions run underground in your subconscious. You start filling your subconscious with higher feel-good level thoughts and emotions. And eventually, these higher feel-good level thoughts and emotions are the ones that become your new self. It totally resonates. Yeah, what else? What else comes up for you? Hold on, let me take a sip of coffee. So I'm going to recap. Hey there. Hi, Joy. Hi, Lucia. I'm going to recap what I've been saying so much. We are constantly manifesting. Again, looking at the dictionary definition of manifesting, which means to make public. Our internal world becomes manifested into reality. What we think, what we feel, creates an electromagnetic signature, if we want to call it that, creates a certain feel-good level, if we use the methodology's language, that then creates the world that we are inhabiting, right? And if we're doing it unconsciously, which is true for most of us, and we have a tendency to have a homeostatic or baseline level that's low, then our life tends to reflect that. And again, I want to always be clear. I don't know that all our thoughts and all our emotions create our whole life. Sometimes there are things that happen in people's lives that there's just no way that I would be egotistical enough or foolish enough to say, well, you thought that. So I want to make sure that you know that when I speak in generalizations, not understanding the secrets of the universe and how life works, only taking a look at what do I have control over. There are many things in this life that I don't have control over. But the thoughts that I think, which lead to the emotions that I feel, which leads to the habits, the actions that I take, which eventually become habits and become patterns, and as Joe Dispenza, become moods, right? If you're someone who's always thinking, I'm not worthy, or life sucks, nobody has my back, you eventually develop a mood. It's like a gray aura. Because it's like there's no brightness. You don't believe yourself to be a bright, creative, amazing human being. And so then, if you're this gray, almost invisible, dimly lit human being, The way you impact life is that way too. Your life becomes gray and dimly lit and not very joyous and not very, it doesn't feel good. And so are you in, and can you let me know I am in for becoming even more precise with what thoughts and emotions you want to cultivate, knowing that every thought and emotion, and it's not one time. If you were to think one time, 2 times, 10 times, I'm not worthy, right? It's not, each thought has power, but really it takes a lot of power to manifest, to make public energy into physical form, right? So 1 or 2 times or 10 times you're repeating the same thought and then having the same emotion. Don't worry about it, right? Like you don't have to worry like, oh my God, I had a thought that, I was going to have a bad day today. You're like, I created that. That we're talking about repeated thoughts, often repeated thoughts that literally become wired in our brain, in our nervous system. Thought, emotion, action. Thought in the brain, emotions in the body, action. And you do that again and again and again and again, and you create the life you're living in right now. And so do you like the life you're living right now? And you can like some parts of your lives. You can like your relationship. Maybe you love your work. Maybe you love being a parent. And then you're like, yeah, but there are some parts of my life where I'm not thriving, where I'm not in the green zone. It's one of the reasons I love the app so much. This is why I love the methodology so much, because you can work with any life area. You can work about your life in general and change it in general to a green zone state, or you can work with just one area of your life, because many of us live pretty good lives, but there are some areas. So let me check what you're in. Joanne says, I am in. Mare says, yes, shaking off the gray mood to shine the light, right? It's like cloudy, like lower frequency thoughts, like red zone, yellow zone thoughts are more dense. They are heavier. They take up more space. They like clouds, right? The way the Buddhists talk about, they hide the clouds. They veil the cloud. They veil the light that we are. And so the more you practice level 7, 8, 9, 10 thoughts, a mindset of positivity that is followed by feelings, by sensations of gladness and joy and excitement and faith and inspiration and a sense of wonder. Like feel even the potency that I've got as I'm speaking. Like I am radiating, I am emitting this light. And again, whether we want to be spiritual or not, just feel the difference whether I were to meet you and be behaving this way. Can you feel the difference? Just even if we didn't believe in any energetics, how I might show, like saying hi to the grocery store clerk and paying attention to maybe a conversation and like showing up in my life, in my workplace, wherever I am from this place. Like at the most basic, if there's no other explanation, I'm going to change my life if I show up engaged and enthusiastic like that. And then if we believe in the power that we are energy beings that affect the energy around us, we attract matching frequencies. We attract matching feel-good levels. Have you ever noticed you're in the red zone? Everything seems in the red zone. Traffic is in the red zone. The grocery store clerk is rude to you. Your husband or your partner is cranky at you. And then when you're in the green zone, like, when you first fall in love, like the whole world seems to respond to be in the green zone. Joy, I wish this changed from my family members who are always saying, I'm tired. My response is, no shit. You say that constantly. I want to create good time scripts because as of now, stay positive and living the good life while they stay tired and missing out. I am in. Yeah, what's so interesting? Thank you for bringing that example. I really realized I got food poisoning. I think it was 6-7 weeks ago. And something shifted in me, and I've been talking about this a little bit, so I'm not going to go into it too long, but it made me decide that since for a few days I couldn't really eat anything, it gave me a reset. That's why I love calling it the stress reset, the B2B work and the app, because it gave me a reset, a chance to pause and say, what do I want? Every day, right? We talk about new moment, fresh moment. Every new moment, we have a chance to start fresh, to make new choices. And sometimes, if we're lucky, life gives us those moments. It could be a breakup. It could be you getting sick. I don't know if you're lucky, unlucky. I don't know if I would say, I would make an assumption about what that means. I was lucky because it was just food poisoning. And I chose to do something different. I chose to take better care of my body because I took decent care of my body. I was probably like a 7, 8 about because, of my body. But I was like, no, I want to see what happens in my life if I make 9, 10 choices with my body, right? On the feel-good scale. And so I stopped eating gluten. I'm gluten sensitive. And I'm like, yeah, I can have gluten. We're in Chinese, or I go to people's houses. I don't want to be a bother. So I was having gluten once or twice a week. And I was only having a half glass of wine. I'm not a big drinker, but I was like, I haven't drank in 4 days. Like, I can just stop that habit. And I literally now have energy 16 hours a day. But I'm also catching my thoughts. And Joy, just like you were saying about your family, I often had the thought, oh, it's 1 o'clock, I'm going to be tired. Oh, it's 8 o'clock, I'm going to be tired. So it's like, I would wake up in the morning and look at my day and be like, yesterday I had the fullest day and it was so rich. And I woke up in the morning, and in the past, I would have been like, oh my God, I'm going to be so tired by my 4 o'clock call, which was a really important call. And I'm like, no. And I scripted, I'm going to have endless energy throughout my day. And I'm going to feel so good and so energized. And guess what? In spite of this really full day, I felt so good. And so I showed up to all my calls in full power, in full presence, in full joy. And guess what? I, of course, impacted. One was the Body Beloved call, and one was the apprenticeship call. I impacted people very powerfully, I imagine, because of the way I show up. So I am in more precise and power. Yes, precision and power, really great 2 words. We have to be precise because these thoughts are sneaky. Like when I called the one of my son, I'm going to be tired to pick him up at the airport because I'm so used to, in the past, I would be tired at 9:30 and I would be like, I don't want to go to the airport. And it's like every moment, new moment, fresh moment, new moment, you get to decide how you're going to feel in the future by thinking the new thought now. I have changed my mantras and continue to learn new things to create new loops every day. Release what no longer serves me. I love that. Hey, Sammy Sue. I like the life I'm living because I get to spend so much time with you. You are so sweet, daughter of mine. The wonder. Yeah, I love the word wonder. When you think about children, when they start being able to walk and they see flowers and they see birds and even the infants, when they see their feet, there's a sense of wonder that we lose as stress starts piling up and responsibilities. But even more importantly, right, the whole point of this live, it's not stress. It's not external responsibilities. It's what we think and feel about them. I always like it's maybe a strange practice, but I always like when I forget how lucky I am and I'm complaining that I have to cook dinner or clean dishes or I complain. I don't know I don't know what else I haven't been complaining about. Well, like maybe that my partner, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I could have no food. I could not have a house. I could be alone right now. So we can find wonder in anything. It is our reaction to it, our relationship to stress, to the weight of, so many things that so many of us are carrying. We all carry a lot. But how do we choose to think and feel about those things? And what happens is, even if nothing changes in your external world, doesn't even matter, because you feel so much better. But I have seen every time when I think and feel differently, when I think and feel green zone thoughts, the world always does respond in kind. And it could be in a completely different thing, right? You could still have the same stress in one life area, but suddenly like something opens up, maybe in your health, and you feel really good. Or maybe suddenly you meet a new friend. But I promise you, your thoughts and your feelings have a point of attraction. And depending on what thoughts and feeling you cultivate, they will have a different point of attraction. That's, the Abraham Hicks work. Level 10, my word for the year is joy. It feels so connected to God and spirit. Beautiful. Yes, I want to see my 10 choices, my matching my thoughts at a 10. And it will happen. It requires conscious manifestation, constant tracking your thoughts and emotions. But so what? It's the one thing. We have so little control in our life, it seems, about what happens. How other people behave. What happens to us, really? But we can control our thoughts and emotions and impact a lot of external experiences. Not all of them. Will never say that to you. I would never bullshit you. I like your scripts of catching yourself. I need to mark them and use them. I'm on a power purge of what has been to spending lots of time reflecting in divine and in my own time practicing. Yeah, I love that. You too inspire me. I miss my time with my daughter. Such a blessing. Yeah, we're really lucky, Sammy and I. And you know what? What's really cool, this is why I do these Facebook Lives. And for people, for the app, this is going to be in the library for you. Is because we can't do this alone. We can't do this alone. That's why just even having Sammy's the one that brought scripting into my world. Sammy's the one that reminded me the power of manifestation meditations and of listening. I'm so used to doing my own guided meditations for everybody. I hadn't listened to other people. And it's actually been very, very, very potent. And so I say to you, whether you're here on the live or on the replay or hearing me in some other way, just join these communities with me. And you can also work with me privately. I love helping people manifest a green zone life. And because I'm a trained therapist and I'm a healer, which has worked in the energy world, I have so many tools at my disposal, including primarily foundationally the methodology. So let's do a meditation. Let me have a sip of coffee. Coffee is so good. You see, this is again, how do you want to drink your sip of coffee? Those of you doing the Body Beloved work who might be in right now, like, how do we love our bodies? How do we nourish our bodies with just even a sip of coffee? Can I be at a 10? Feeling so grateful for how delicious this coffee is. Can I be mindful? Can I say thank you? Boom. You have just shifted your thoughts and emotions. Boom. It's like that. It's that simple. Yeah, sometimes you'll have to do some deep belief work. Because you'll be like, why do I keep creating this thing? I don't understand. And then you might have to dig deep. That's the kind of stuff I can help you with. Like, oh, I have a belief that I'm all alone, that I have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulder, that the world isn't safe, that I'm not worthy, like whatever that may be. But you can also catch yourself tens upon 10 times a day on the smallest moments and make them green zone moments and watch your life change. All right, let's close our eyes. And I think you all know the feel-good scale, 1 to 10, 10 all the way red, stressed out, constricted. 1 all the way red, I think I said it. 10 all the way green. Where are you at right now? Some of you have been on this call the whole time. Maybe you've shifted. How's your breath? Is it slow, deep, steady? Allow it to slow down consciously. Because even our breath, we can choose to use for manifestation, because when we are doing deep abdominal breathing, it automatically tells our brains that we are safe. It automatically shifts you closer to the green zone and makes your capacity to think green zone thoughts and feel green zone emotions and create green zone actions easier. So it begins with the breath. And now I invite you to pick an area of your life that you would like to feel more green zone about. It could be in your relationships, in your health, in your career, your work, in your finances. Trust what comes to you. Maybe it'll even surprise you. And it doesn't have to mean you're 1 or 2. You could be a 6 and be like, I want to be a 10. You could even be a 7, 8, and you want to be a 10. So allow your consciousness to let you know one life area, and it could be a specific relationship. It could be a specific health issue, could be eating, body image, sickness. Just trust yourself. And I want you to take the time right now to see what thoughts you usually run in your mind about this specific area of your life or this specific person, or even about yourself. This will never heal. He will never change. I will never succeed. If you find never, always statements, those always are good indicators that these are core beliefs that live in you and whose thoughts constantly run in your unconscious, your subconscious, through your mind and create your life. You might find one, you might find many. Just let those thoughts reveal themselves to you. Knowing sometimes they like to hide, because often when we start bringing them into awareness, they really don't make sense. I will never succeed. What? Where'd you get that from? But doesn't matter. These thoughts often are not logical. These thoughts, we learn them often as children. And we make conclusions about ourselves and about the world that still run our life today and create the life we have. And then I want you to imagine that you can put these thoughts in writing on a piece of paper, on a screen in front of you. I want you to see them in writing. Because what happens is we think the thought, and the thought actually eventually, repeated often enough, becomes matter. So as you write the words on a screen or on paper, whatever you imagine best, that is actually the process of manifestation. When your thoughts become matter, become reality. So put those thoughts, write those thoughts down so that you can see them as though you were reading them on a screen or a piece of paper or computer screen if you want. You can find 1, 2, 3, 5. Trust what comes for you. And now you're going to take each one, depending if you have one or many. And I want to invite you to literally erase it. I want you to imagine the act. And if it's on a computer screen, use the delete button. If it's a pen, imagine it's ink that you can erase. If it's pencil, erase the thought. I'm not worthy. I will never succeed. My life is never going to be good enough. I will never find love. I will never make money. Whatever it is, watch it disappear from that piece of paper, from the screen. Just right now, just watch it disappear. Trust your imagination. It disappears. It dissipates because you're not going to feed it habitually anymore. This is your decision right now. I will not feed that thought anymore. So you're deleting it. You would have to create it anew now if you ever wanted to run it again. And then I want you to type in or write in a new thought. A thought you want to cultivate. A thought that's going to break you out of the habit of being your old self and up-level you into your new self, a more green zone self. I am worthy. I succeed at whatever I do. My relationships thrive. My health is thriving. My body feels good. I am worthy, and feel it. This is the new thought you are telling your subconscious right now. This is the new thought you're going to be cultivating. This is the new thought you're going to put emotions in, which will create the actions. Your thoughts are just temporary experiences, and they only develop power because you keep repeating them. So trust me when I say, if you put a new thought in and you give it enough of your attention, you will create that. You might feel like, no, it's not. Just try it. The only reason you've created the life you've got is because you've habitually been cultivating the same thoughts and emotions. That's it. As of today, from this moment on, this new thought, or new thoughts if you're writing a bunch, are your new script, the new script of your life. Believe it. See it on that piece of paper or that screen. Imagine printing it out if it is on a computer screen and putting it everywhere. I am worthy. I succeed at whatever I do. I thrive in my body. I have rich and loving connections. I have enough time and space to take care of myself. And you can take all of mine. I think they're good. Let those words, whether you have put them on paper, on a computer screen you've imagined, or screen, let those be anchored as your new script. This is the new script of your life. This is what your mind will see. All right, let's take a deep breath in and out together, exhaling all of our air. Taking a deep breath in. And an audible exhale if you can. Opening your eyes. And checking in. The formula for manifestation, which came through me a few months ago as I was preparing for a class, that's really simple for you to take and remember today, is intention plus attention equals manifestation. Let me repeat it and think about what you just did in this meditation. Intention. What was your intention in this meditation? You can replay it. Replay this meditation again and again. So you have your intention that's now on the screen, on paper. And now you have to pay attention to it. You have to feed it every day, multiple times a day. You literally activate that thought. You make it become matter by intending it with thoughts and emotions and then paying attention to it. And what was incredible about what came to me about intention plus attention equals manifestation is I realized that it spells I am. I am. Every moment I aming with my thoughts and my emotions. Every moment who I am gets created through intention plus attention. So if you are unconsciously intending for your life to fail, because as a kid you decided that's just what happened, or for your relationships to be conflictual, or for work to be hard, and you have unconsciously put all your attention on that thought and found evidence to support that thought, that is what you will manifest. That's your I am. So, Susan, my body is healthy and strong and I sleep restfully every night. I love that. And just feel it, like feel, imagine, use all your senses. What is it like to wake up in the morning and feel like that? Like feel it. Play that script again and again and again. All right, everybody. I am intention plus attention. And hi, Shar. I hope you were able to do the meditation. I feel so good. I'm going to go work out now, take good care of my body, and let me know whether you are still in the live or in the replay. How did this land? What was the intention, right? When we share our intentions publicly, we help manifestation even more. We're declaring it to the world. See you later.